Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Be safe out there. Welcome to Let the Madness Begin. William Coleman, Marshawn Taylor. And today I had to call a couple of people and ask them, are they okay?
You didn't call me. You know better than that.
I had to reach out.
Who'd you have to call?
I felt bad.
Don't feel bad.
Because
don't feel bad.
They saw a loss when they woke up. That's why you should always finish the game, because at halftime y'all went to sleep. Y'all had your little fake Hubert Davis get out of work because we're in the national championship game. Yeah, I saw that floating around. So I'm like, please excuse this person because of the national championship game. You know what they should have said? We didn't belong here. We lucked up to get here, and a better team, which would Duke, would have spanked that on Kansas because that was a better matchup. But anyway, how do you feel this morning?
A better matchup. That would have been a better matchup. Y'all got ran off the court.
No, we wouldn't.
Yes, you have. You know they had upperclassmen in there.
We wouldn't have got ran off the court.
Y'all got ran off the court.
We would have held on our
Y'all got ran off the court. Y'all would have got ran off the court.
Let's talk about
they would have been a 20-point lead at the beginning. Y'all would have fight your way back. And it probably been a 20-point loss.
So let's talk about this 15.
So, okay. So let's recap. Yes, they were up 15 at the half. By the time I got to the house, I did listen to it. It's a matter of and they didn't lose by that much. So people need to understand. That's why I say it's important that some players, when they start talking about, this goes for Duke, it goes for any of them freshmen, sophomores that feel they're, even though they have the potential, that's where it needs to become talent. Stay in college a little bit longer, because in college, you learn poise when it comes to playing the game in these kind of situations, in these big game situations. And I think that's why I feel the one and done thing is a horrible idea, but it is what it is, at this point. Because and even though Armando is a sophomore, I feel he should stay another year. I feel a lot of those guys, Puff Johnson, any of them, they need to stay another year. Because in these situations, think about it. Think about it in high school. If you were in high school, you didn't decide, I'm gonna not play my junior and senior year because I'm going to college, right? You play throughout, and there's big moments throughout the time at that level. You learn the poise at high school level, and it carries over somewhat into college. And the same thing I feel, on the college level. Stay at least to your junior year. Learn that, win or lose, you learn how to handle yourself in those situations. And I think that's what happened with a lot of them guys. It's like, and also that's what's wrong with today's game as a whole. It's like, I was trying to figure out why they're shooting threes. You up 15, stick to what you're doing. Penetrating down the middle. Mid range shots. And then hey, if you happen to get it wide open or we'll put together a 3-point shot, then you shoot the shot. It's sort of like the minute they came out running hard. Kansas came out running hard. It was a quick punch in the nose. Don't get me wrong. It's just they didn't know how to recover and settle down and just play. And then they kind of walked back into the game, but the last 2 minutes was crucial because they were down 4, and all they had to do was score 2 points, get a stop, score another 2 points, and tie the game. Go for the tie. That much time left. Keep the game close. Try to get you a couple of stops, which they did against Duke. Did they not?
No, I mean, yeah.
And maybe it'll carry over to where you get that final 3-point shot and you win the game. So, I think it was a good game regardless because it was a close game, which it was supposed, because even though it was up 15, it still was a close game. It was close, closer than at the half. And people say, as they say the score, it was up 15. That's cool. It was up 15. That was by luck, because I knew eventually they'd make that run because Kansas did that against Villanova. It's just, but they didn't. But the only difference is they didn't run away. They didn't run away from Villanova. They didn't run away from Carolina like they did Villanova. So they put it that way. So, and I give it to them. It was a good game.
So a couple of things to unpack. So the first thing we'll unpack is...
it's the beginning of the Hubie Davis era in the ACC.
Okay, no,
Yes.
okay. I
The
understand.
Hubert Davis era has began, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, that's fair. So think about teams that have won the national championship since 2010.
Okay, but think about what I said though. Regardless of what the lead is, they've always had what the poise to carry it out throughout and that's what it was.
Well,
Go ahead.
Think
though.
about the teams that won.
Go ahead.
Most of the teams that have won,
Has Duke won any time in 2000? How many y'all won?
maybe won one.
Okay, just one. Okay.
No. I'm just saying, but
All right, well, go ahead,
all
though.
teams,
Right,
most of the teams that have won, to include the team that won for us,
right.
were actually sophomores and seniors.
But keep in mind, like I said, poise. These are things that you
Right.
learn and you carry. It carries over.
What I'm saying is
Go ahead.
that you're seeing that teams that necessarily wouldn't win, because they're not the most talented teams that
No.
are winning. No, but they're the teams that have the older and more experienced players, to what you're saying. However, do you think colleges should start paying the talent to stay? Because now you have a kid who can make millions of dollars despite the poise. Or sit in college and get hurt.
But you got to keep them, even though yes and no. But there's always that trade-off. And that's not only, like I said, it's not only the education you're getting in the classroom, the education you're getting on the court, you're being coached. Like I said, you can have all the potential in the work. You think about it. When you're going from, when a college approaches you, you have a potential, you want a potential to do what? Help them win, correct?
Right.
And the same thing when you're going from college to the NBA, the potential one, based on what they see.
Right.
They the potential to have the talents you put on the court to carry over into the professional league.
Right. But the
Right.
professional league pays.
Of course
So-
they pay. Of course.
So colleges
Right.
may need to start paying.
And like I said, I have no problem with that. But keep in mind, are you going to be paying them based on that potential to win or what
Yeah.
they could bring? Or should you be paying them based on what they actually bring on the
No,
court?
you have to pay
into
for
the school?
potential, because because the initial will always be potential. It's like when you draft a quarterback.
So I got you. So I got a question is, so why not do this? Now, if there was such a league, so when the college season is over, they can go play in a semi-pro league. Semi-pro.
They can.
Okay.
Well, that's what LeVar Ball had
Right.
before black men destroyed them on TV.
That's his own fault. But let's go.
No.
But
The NBA stole his
Right.
idea, and that's what the G League is.
Yeah,
So
but the G League is, remember, it starts a little bit before the season.
right.
In a sense, it carries over throughout the
But
season.
you can go there.
You can.
and forfeit college and go straight to the G League.
But see, the thing is, what if you didn't have to forfeit college if you went to this? Because there are semi-pro leagues out there.
I think it'd be an insurance issue.
But if they're getting paid, because think about it,
Now,
semi-pro
if they're
league
getting paid, then it's different.
Exactly.
Then you
But-
treat it like you treat it overseas.
Exactly.
Now that, you can.
And that's, in a sense, you allow that kind of flexibility. Instead of it's only, I wonder if there's an off-season basketball pro league, like semi-pro league like that. Hey, that's something we might need. Something we might need. Something like a Big Three, but it's for amateur players.
They got that national basketball tournament that they
But a
do.
lot of them are professional players or former college players that play. So I mean, they have no eligibility to play. But say you're able to keep your eligibility, like you said, you earning, because even then you still working on your talent, your potential to be. It's kind of like it's just a lot to go into. But back to what you're saying, yeah, I feel they should be getting some kind of, it's called a stipend. For their business.
Bump that. Hey,
a stipend.
No, because a stipend is you cheating me and giving me the bare minimum to live off of.
But
getting
question,
me paid is
okay,
different.
so let's look at it. So if you're paying them, how are you paying them based on what though?
You're paying them as if they
And
are.
should every player be getting paid the same amount of pay?
Yeah.
So you're saying that Bobby Hurley should have got paid the same much as Christian Laettner in back in the day?
Yeah. Because what a lot of people don't realize.
Or Wojo should got who was one of his teammates?
Phil Collins. not Doug Collins, but his son.
Yeah.
Collins.
But he wasn't. He was decent.
And Capel. They were three-headed backcourt.
Right. So I mean, you think y'all should got.
But here's the thing. This is why I say that, and a lot. This is why I think the disconnect is with a lot of people. We look at we let's say like North Carolina. They barely go 60. So you look at the rest of the team and you're like, they're nobody. They're still 4 or 5 star recruits.
Right.
So they're not just, you may have 1 or 2 walk-ons. However, the rest of those teams were at least 4 to 5 star recruits from where they were.
Yeah, where they're at.
So technically they're talented. They are talented.
Right.
So you're paying them the same because they're still talented.
Right.
However, you play them in your system, it's on you. Now that may beg to differ to how it goes moving forward, but the initial is always paid the same. Like you could say, if freshmen get paid this amount, sophomores this amount, juniors this amount, seniors this amount. Now you could do it that way because by the time you're a senior, depending on how the flow of the game goes, you will be starting anyway.
Right.
So you can do it that way. Right. Now, a lot of people be like, well, what about the women? If the women brought the same amount of fans to the stands,
you're starting a whole new.
No. But this
is what you said. And you know what? That is a valid point. That is a valid argument. But go ahead though.
So if they brought the same, because the first thing people would be like is, well, you pay everybody in college. You can't pay everybody in college.
No, because everybody don't bring a salary revenue to the table.
We all know it is a fact. Basketball and football.
Now stop. Now, if you're like, if you have a program like UConn. Or
that's
South,
different.
It's different. Like I said, that's different.
And that's few and far in between.
Right.
And even still, UConn women still don't bring the same amount as UConn men. Right. And South Carolina women do not bring as much as South Carolina men or their football team.
That might change.
Yeah, go ahead. That's not going to change.
Right. That might change though.
No, it's not.
That might change.
I'm going to tell you why. And I love Dawn Staley. And I was going to marry Dawn Staley back in 1996. She don't know that yet, but we was going to get married. I had it all planned out. Right. I was rocking with her when the WNBA
you probably wasn't that type then either. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I probably still ain't her type.
You never will be a type. Well, go ahead, man.
But the problem with the women game is that they catch fire, but that's it. It's not longevity. They have not built a successful longevity.
But, and I think part of that is because they don't. They have a more fundamental game, even though they don't have. They do have women that can dunk the ball,
right?
But it doesn't have the same amount of flow as it would in the men's game. For one,
true. And women are liars. No. And I thought about this. Real talk. You laughing? Women are liars. They're the biggest hypocrite on earth.
I got you.
We want inclusion. We want equality.
Right.
We want to be dominant, but y'all don't even watch your own women's sports.
Good point.
They watch us.
They watch NBA all day.
How many on rocking them women jerseys?
Good point. Very good point.
How many people showed up to the Candace Parker and her Chicago team when they won the WNBA championship? They laughed. That became a meme. Said nobody showed up. They had a parade after they won, and nobody showed up in Chicago. Really.
I didn't know they won.
How? So
I didn't know they had
exactly.
Yeah,
and that was Candace Park, I think, 2nd or 3rd championship.
Right.
So when you look at it, I want y'all to get paid, but the people, you don't get mad at the men. See, they always, and this is the other thing. Oh, we don't need no man, but you always ask an NBA player to support you. Grow the fuck up. Man up. You know what y'all need to do is go to those women that be sitting at home watching men's sports, and you say you need to watch us. That's who should be your target audience.
Okay.
That's the problem. Your target audience shouldn't be men. We're gonna watch booty. It is what it is.
Right.
We're gonna watch booty.
Right.
If it's booty on the court, we're gonna watch it.
Right. Yeah, I used to watch the Lingerie Football League.
See, exactly. If it's booty, we're gonna watch it. However, guess what happens? Our attention span is at that point, and then we're done. Right. Unfortunately, unless you got people who are really committed, who may have daughters who play, or people who actually love the game to the point. Like I said, I watched the WNBA from when it first started up until now.
So I got you. So you feel no, it shouldn't be just on the NBA or men. It should be more women investing in it, not putting money into it, but like you said, investing themselves and watching the game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like it's crazy to me how you barely see women in the stands.
Good point.
So,
but they be at the NBA games all day. Right.
So my
Or the
point,
college games all day. Or the
So-
football games all day, every day.
so my point is, who you really mad at?
Okay. I can see
So-
that.
So when it comes to women, talking about
So-
we should get paid. No, you're not gonna get
No,
paid.
I remember
same
we
as
did
college.
talk about this years ago, and like I said, I kind of see what you're saying, because you can't demand $1 million if you only bring in 500 to the table. You know, now the difference, if you bring in 10 million to the table, you know you're bringing in 10 million. The people coming to see you, that brings in $10 million, and you only get paid a couple thousand. You asking for $1 million. That's understandable. You know, but I can see what you're saying. You know, it's all in what you because it's got to be a trade-off. And people don't understand. You know, it's always, regardless of what we say, it's always about the money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the same thing about the owners. It's always, because for them, it's an investment.
Exactly.
Because you think about it, like off the top of your head, name the 2 most valuable franchises in the world.
Dallas Cowboys.
And another one.
Let's go with I say New York Knicks. I think they're up there.
They're up there. I think they're like the top 10 or something like that. And the owners probably, now I forgot how much Jerry Jones paid for. I remember, off the top of my head, like
about for his new stadium.
Not for the stadium,
no,
for the team itself. When he bought the team,
he bought the team barely.
It was like tens of millions or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It wasn't. Yeah, and
now it's worth how much?
Billions
of dollars.
That he spent $1.2 billion on that stadium.
Right. And that's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, he got,
and that's just play money.
Yeah,
and that's just side money according to actually how he's made his money.
He got that I can do whatever I want to you money.
Right.
you can't
exactly that. And maybe, like you said, they should. Hey, why are they approaching? You should approach Oprah.
Yeah. Why hasn't Oprah invested in it? But that's why I say women are full of shit.
You know it.
You can't sit up here and tell me.
So the people that are playing should go to their own sector and say, hey, we need you to invest in
How many of us actually going to women to watch us play?
What's the question again?
Women should go to women to help support them. How many of us men are like, let's go get these women to support us? None.
They just show up and play.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of them, and okay, I got you. I got you saying. I got you.
So when it goes back to college, and I know that will always be the argument, because first thing they'll be like, look at Dawn Staley, what she's doing at South Carolina. I'm not disputing what she has done in South Carolina
for the women's program,
and I'm not disputing anything about her as far as a coach and that program. However, they're not raking in the money as what people think. Right. It looks good because it's being promoted.
Correct.
But like a lot of things that's being promoted, there's no substance behind it.
Right.
South Carolina football team, as garbage as they are and have been for years, still ranking the top for that school. Second will always be basketball or baseball, because baseball.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be baseball then basketball.
Yeah,
South Carolina. Yeah.
So we all know that the top sport funds every other collegiate sport at that school.
Yeah, this defends the athletic program altogether.
So how can you say that as a female athlete you deserve the same as men when you don't even bring in the revenue as the men? That's not fair.
Now, do you feel the same way when it comes to the soccer team, the U.S. women's soccer team, and compared now? Now, this is where it's kind of the switch reverse, where the women.
I don't think it's still switch reverse. I think it's promoted that way.
That the women are better?
I don't think the women are better. I think.
Do you mean the men are better?
I'm about this about to sound really.
Just go ahead. You going out on now? You know, hey,
their competition's not the same. You got to think about in soccer,
right?
You got more international players in the U.S. So when we go to the World Cup, our players are going back to their home countries to play.
Okay.
So it's different. So the competition in soccer is more fierce on the men's side, like literally more fierce on the men's side.
I can see what you're saying.
So yes, the women's soccer team has garnered this thing where they feel like, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. However, if you really talent for talent, their talent's not the same as the men. Now they have had some talented players. Do not
Right.
get me wrong.
So you're saying pretty much the talent level is more far superior on the U.S. side as opposed to. I got you. Okay. So that's why it looks as if.
Right. So what other women's soccer team in the world you really know about?
French, German,
they have them, but really, but you ain't really.
The Brazilian
soccer
team?
America has begun to market
right.
the women's soccer team more so,
right?
And that's the difference. Now, if we're talking track and field, that's different,
right?
Now that is way different.
Yeah,
that's an argument. Like,
it's
like,
kind of it's dead even.
Yeah, that honestly that, and in some cases. Like them Jamaican women, in some cases you might be like, they might be better than the men. Right. I mean, like Usain Bolt man took some blood and shot them into their.
Yeah, you say that. Right, true.
So it can balance out, but I think what people don't understand is we get caught up in this being, like you say, equality.
Right.
Things are not understanding that push come to shove. If you're not bringing in the revenue,
right,
I can't pay you the same. People don't realize this. When the WNBA first started, the actual person that was supposed to be marketed to spearhead it was Cheryl Swoops. Correct. They actually had marketed her to be Air Jordan. They gave her Nike gave her. She was the first female to have her own shoe, Air Swoops.
Yeah.
What happened was she got pregnant, and unfortunately, their first season she got pregnant. So a woman by the name of Cynthia Cooper, took over. They were supposed to be. They were the female version of Jordan and Pippen,
right?
And she took over and never looked back. And they won 5 straight titles with Cynthia Cooper as the lead. I bring that up to say that how many people brought that shoe? How many women bought that jersey? How many people can recite what I just said? The only team in professional sports that have won 5 straight titles is the Houston Comets. 5 straight.
Yeah, true.
I watched I remember I bought a burger and some fries from this place, and I sat down and the game started at 3 p.m. It was the first game. It was New York Liberty versus the Houston Rockets. Actually, nope, Sparks. I'm lying. Yeah. It was a Sparks because those were the two. Yeah, LA Sparks
and Houston Comets.
Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie.
Right.
And Rebecca Lobo had just graduated from UConn from having a good season. So I've been following women's sports. I remember when Tamika Catchings came in.
Right.
And I love Tamika Catchings. She had game. I even Parker. I mean, Parker really can ball, She really can ball. I mean, so Maya, I mean, so you have, but if I'm the only one that could recite them, then that's the problem.
Right.
So when it comes to the female game, yes, South Carolina women's won. What happens now? Who gets more talk about? Kansas will, I guarantee you. Matter of fact, they had a quote. And they said that they used what happened in 2020 as motivation to bring this home for those who couldn't get it because of what happened in 2020. South Carolina's good. Their women's team is dope. But the truth of the matter is, Dawn Staley will leave. And I'm not saying she'll leave to go to another program. No, she'll probably leave and coach professional, which she deserves. She's actually good. I mean, she deserves a shot.
She's actually a good coach.
But it's one of those things where you have to really say, you know what are we doing to promote our sport? What are we doing to get the women involved?
And as we as in who?
The players. Okay. Women. All these women who marching, Amber Rose and her slut walk. Why ain't none of them watching the game?
Good point. We should reach out to them.
Kim, you all about women empowerment. Kim Kardashian, why you ain't watching the game? Why you ain't?
Pete Davidson ain't watching it. Skeety watching it, man. Skeety, man.
Call grown man Skeet.
Hey, man.
And he owns it.
Right.
And he tells you he's skiing too. Like,
hey.
Rocky. That's who got slapped. Skeet.
Oh man.
But so I'm glad you brought that up because they did an amendment to the Rooney Rule,
Right.
which always screws black people.
Of course.
And now they say, they use minority a lot now.
Of course.
Minority includes everybody.
Exactly.
So now when an owner wants to hire someone in the minority pool, they can hire, and this, don't take offense to this, a big booty girl and say, hey, I met my quota.
True.
I hire what I like.
True.
We sat down, we had drinks, she bounced, and I was happy.
True.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. However, because we allowed them to use the word minority, it cuts out another African-American male who has really went up the ranks.
That's deserved it. True.
Right. And I know a lot of people be like, women could coach men. I'm not saying women can't coach men. However, there's something to be said when you earn the right.
You came up the ranks. You actually started from somewhere, as opposed to you just walked in off the street. You know, that's it. And it is a difference. People don't understand. And I think in anything we do, whether man or woman, it's like if you didn't put in the time and the effort to learn the field of whatever it is you decide to become a profession, as opposed to you just walking in and just doing it. You know, it's a lot that, you know, you're going to be looked at crazy.
I know.
You know, that's like just walking, you an army, you just walk in and make you a general.
Right.
First day.
And I know a lot of people don't like that scenario I use, but however, that's actually more common in our area as far as being in the careers that you see a lot of times. Yeah. People will pick what they like. They
don't mind looking at.
Exactly.
Right.
Male it is what it is. I mean, if that wasn't the case, then why 95% of all the female co-hosts on these shows look good?
Hey, I can't argue with that. I don't argue with that. I do not argue.
That don't mean they're the most skilled.
True.
But they sure can
fill a seat.
Exactly.
I understand.
You hire what you like.
You know.
And I think that's going to hurt because now we're going to see a lot more. And I have nothing against. It'll be interesting to see a female coach.
So let's not stay in the realm. But as far as you look at that Sue Bird.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that is the case as well, or would you feel that it'd be in comparison? Would it be saying, because you think about it, she kind of went up in the ranks anyway. She's not a professional coach. She was she played at every level: high school, college, Olympics.
Oh yeah, she's the only one with a perfect season outside of UCLA back in the day.
Right. She started out, and now she's an assistant, and now she's been talked about. Whispers whenever there's a vacancy as her being the possible coach. They even talk about her possibly taking over if Greg Popovich decides to retire. He'll probably die being the coach of the Spurs. So I mean, you know, that's what it is. So
it's tricky because even though she has all that on her resume, does she really have all that on her resume for that position?
Okay.
Because it's easy to be an assistant.
Because think about it, like you said, it goes back to how much skin you've actually put in.
Right. And there's a lot of other coaches assistant coaches, even college coaches who's
been coaches, assistants for like 10, 15 years.
Now, if you interview her and she gives you the best interview, that's different. And I can't.
So would you expect, saying that, because remember who else is an assistant on the Spurs as well?
Tim Duncan.
That's so now it came down to it, and something happens with Popovich has to give up the position, or he has, whatever. Who would you expect to get position more? Because she's been an assistant a little bit longer than he has.
She should get it based on the fact that she has more experience
as a coach.
And
he did coach a couple of games himself too, So,
but the problem I think what happened with anybody who crosses that line is, how do you put the first time the team doesn't do well?
On the coach, are you ready to handle that?
Right. The first time she show emotions.
Right.
It's a dynamic that is going to be interesting. I know we like to see it in movies. The movie. Oh yeah, look at the female coach.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a male coach to coach millionaires.
Grown ass men.
Yeah, exactly. So a female coach,
right?
I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. I do think out of everybody, she would probably be the first. Now, Don Staley making a great case that
Okay.
she could possibly be brought up to be somebody assistant as an heir apparent. Now, I can see that. But I do think that it may happen in college men's side quicker than it would on pros.
That would make more sense.
Because you're putting in too much money on the pro side of the house. Even though
Right.
you're paying them millions in college, you're putting too much. It's easier to fire.
You can manage. It's
Right.
manageable. It's more
The more
manageable
manageable
as far as
side.
your players and everything. Because for one, you're in an authoritative position. I hate to say authoritative, but you're in a position of you say what comes and goes, what are the do's and don'ts of the team.
Right.
As opposed, like you said, in the pros and come down to it, chick, I'm getting paid $100 million to be on this team. Who are you?
Right.
I got this, and this. Oh, yeah, you got that, but that's on the women's side of the house. This is the men's.
And that's the other thing.
So,
like,
yeah,
so
I got you.
I do believe now this is something that you said earlier, which I think will help. I believe that the female coaches will teach a more
fundamental game, sound game, which I think
that may
that's
help
what's
out
missing.
a lot,
That's what's missing,
especially with point guards.
Right.
I think that
Yeah.
honestly, that actually may be the biggest game changer right there is the fact that.
So you think winning would change everything, or say dramatic changes in certain aspects of the game?
Yeah, I think you'll see a more team oriented product on the floor that she's coaching because that's what she knows, which is actually the basics of basketball. As far as men right now, we go off of ability.
Yeah,
I mean, Luka Doncic is known for not being in shape until about halftime of the season.
Yeah,
like literally, he comes in the season.
You
play
out.
Yeah, Allen Iverson always told people, "I don't practice, I don't lift weights," and now he remorseful about it. He's like, "If I would have done all that, just imagine." Shaq's been well documented.
Right.
He's
coming out of shape.
Out of shape and just play his way through it. But for men, you can do that.
Right. Women, you really
can't. So the fundamentals you have to work on because you still have to. Weight is different for men.
Yeah, because the weight shifts different. I got you. The weight sits different.
Right. So she'll probably have them eating better. She'll probably have them working on different things. She'll probably have them more conditioning. I mean, honestly, and it sounds weird, but because she will know how to do it because that's how she maintained her life in basketball. And then when it comes to the team portion of it, how to just do a simple pass.
It'd be like a nurture. Yeah, and I agree. And I think that's because like I said, I watched the game. I watched the first half of the game yesterday. And you can tell that it's like the passes, everything. I think in the men's game, whether it's pro or whatever, it's gotten away from the fundamentals of how to throw a solid pass.
How it's lazy.
It's very lazy. The dribble penetration, and they're right there at the goal, and they toss out for a 3-point shot, and you like literally 5 feet from the goal,
right?
And you wide open, and you for
are they out there James Harden dribbling? 5 seconds left, right? Because they won't. It's men care about the highlight. Like we're on the highlight.
I was about to say that it's about the highlight reel nowadays, opposed to the game itself. Right. I've always coached. You make sure you try to do 3 passes before you even consider taking one shot.
Exactly.
3 passes before you even consider
taking that third one. The third man is open.
Exactly.
If you pass, if you do correctly, or just a simple pick and roll.
Right.
And you see that a lot in the women game.
Yeah, and I like you said, a fundamentally sound game.
Yeah.
And like you said, and I think it's another thing too. The highlights aren't as fabulous as it would be in a men's game.
Right.
Of course, you see, Curry hitting it halfway, 3-point from the other side. He soon as they pass the ball, he's underneath the goal. He shoots a 3. He makes it from the other side of the court. Or
killing me.
Or Durant, he launches it and it swishes in and he goes up and LeBron dunking on somebody and and even though there's been a few players that's dunked at college games on the female side,
Charlotte Smith.
It's just a one-time thing. Like it's like Yeah,
Even Candace Parker, I think.
Yeah, she's dunked a couple of times in games. So it's it's about the highlight reel. It's more about, hey, can you see me? And it's more marketable in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
You can't market, right? Market give me a player, an NBA WNBA play doing the perfect pass, perfect bounce pass, or
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore doing a layup.
Yeah.
I know it's a good fundamental clean layup.
Even their logo is either them dribbling,
I think,
or doing a layup. So you know right then and there. So
right, you're right. It's and I think you're asking something to be equal, to be considered equal or looked at, even though the product is not the same. It's even though it's the same, it's not the same.
Right.
It's same but not equal. Crocodiles and alligators.
Exactly.
Type deal.
They both eat, but they do differently. They swim in different waters. They're together and separate.
And I think eventually we'll get to that point to where, but even by that time, the men's game is going to go to a whole nother different realm of how it's being played.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because something that was have been mentioned quite a few times is players are more skilled now than they ever been.
Right.
How do you feel about that statement? I know how I feel.
I don't think. I mean, in terms of what do you call a skill?
So I'm glad you brought that.
Yeah, what do you call a skill?
I'm gonna say they are more skilled, but how I look at skill is more well-rounded. So back in the day, Dennis Rodman would just go out there and just grab 20 rebounds,
right,
and that's it.
So
he couldn't do that today because there's no place for that today. So the big man,
but it'd be more like
the bench.
He'd be more like your Draymond Green.
But see, dribbling, Dennis Rodman didn't dribble.
Right. He dribbled, but it wasn't his thing to dribble. He could. He had, and I'm starting to cut you off. He had what you call, like I told people, I don't know if you heard of the garbage man game.
Yeah.
The garbage man game is basically
he did everything.
He did everything, but he wasn't good. He was decent at everything.
Right.
He just wasn't good at a lot of things.
Right.
And like you said, but he specialized in rebounding. That was his thing. And defense.
Right.
But as far as his offensive set, he can probably shoot a three every now and again, do a layup here and there, dunk it whenever he could. But he knew he stuck with defense and rebounding,
And that's the thing. And that's why I said now they're more skilled, because you're seeing people who are tall.
I don't think skill is the word. I think it's more specialized now. I think specialized is more of a better word. Because and back to what and what you're saying, because like everybody, like shooting is the thing regardless of what it is.
Right.
Everything's based around shooting as opposed to how well you defend, how well you pass.
Yeah.
Really can rebound, your IQ, how your reaction to, to the game, the pace. And it goes back to, like I said, we talk about the fundamentals of the game. It's gone away from, because the fundamentals are the skills.
Right.
Fundamentals are the skills, but now if not keeping it, now it's got to be, now you got to have you get highlighted if you do a fancy crossover, nutmeg, or you know what I'm saying. It's not a matter of somebody dribbling. It's like they gone away from showing somebody doing, like you said, the layup.
Right.
Now the layup, you got to go up and under, which everybody tries to do, or they try to do. Floater's always been in the game, but they've always, like you said, it's always for the highlight.
Yeah. It's
never for the sake of the game. The rhythm. There's no rhythm in the games now. It's no real rhythm to how the game is played on any level nowadays. Everybody emulates each other. You got high school kids trying to emulate what they see on the NBA. You got the NBA scene where they see what's going on the streets, trying to carry, to the point now you think about it. How many games have you watched where you saw somebody pick up a dribble and walked 4 steps before they did an actual layup? They did a hyper super Euro step.
Yeah. See that a lot.
A lot.
I don't understand.
And the referee be standing right there.
Letting it.
right there. Now you know back.
Oh yeah, that was automatic traveling.
Automatic travel, regardless of who you were.
Or if you did that in the lane, took one time for you to do that. The next time you do that in that lane, you get an elbow.
Right. And the 3-second rule. And then how many times have you watched the game?
And
the defenders we just
Joel Embiid sometimes lives down there.
Yeah.
Joker does. He definitely lives.
The 3-second. How often have you seen the 3-second rule being called in a game?
Nah, you hardly ever see it. You hardly ever see any. It got to a point when I watched the Duke and North Carolina game. I saw the referees just calling fouls that didn't make sense to me. It's like, at what point do you not realize you're going to touch a person?
Right.
It is a contact sport.
Exactly.
But you're literally calling when it's out of a person's hands. Like, it's not even. You can even be like, well, dang, there's no other way, so you're just gonna call a foul. Like, it's
right.
It was weird. So yeah, I do. Yeah. But I'll say we could use the word specialized specialty, but I do believe that the all-around game of a person now is greater than it was before. I think back in the day, you could get away with a point guard being a pure point guard. Yeah. He can score when need be, but most he's just out there floor general, the team and everything like that. Nowadays, you see what they're trying to do with Ben Simmons. And despite what people think, he's actually a great point guard. Like, Ben Simmons is honestly
top. He'd be a great, tall, pure point guard.
Right. But because, he's not shooting the three, he don't want to shoot.
The three.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be shooting the three.
I told someone, I said, if Ben Simmons was on my team, I'd be like, look, who do you want as shooters? He'd be like, give me Reggie Miller, Reggie Theus, bring back Kevin Johnson. I'd be like, I'll bring them all back out of retirement. Just to get the full benefits of Ben Simmons, because I know that he'll get them the ball and all they gotta do is shoot. That's it. Now we gonna get run off the court because they're old, but however, they're gonna shoot. I think that's the difference in the game. Like, you have, like I said, you have to shoot, and then not just shoot, you have to shoot from your house, because shooting a normal three is not good enough. I just got across court. Paul George has this famous saying. He said to Dame Lillard, that was a bad shot. And then he had come back a year later. Apparently, that's not a bad shot. No, that's still a bad shot. However, they're practicing the bad shot. And I don't make it a good shot. Just they're practicing a bad shot.
I agree.
So I do think now they have a more skill. Their skill sets are more similar, which means that the problem in the NBA is positionless. So you have mismatches because you will have a 6'10" person guarding a 6'6" person,
right?
Because that 6'10" person can't really bang.
No, they don't know how.
Exactly,
it's a finesse game,
and that's the problem. Yeah. And I think that's why you won't see a dynasty anymore. Because everybody's so similar in everything. Now, like, if you really look at it, they're starting to look the same.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they really are starting
Everybody's building their teams the same way. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're not shooting, you're not valuable, regardless of what your height is. You should be able to shoot 30%. I'm like, come on now. And I think it's true. Shaq would dominate.
Oh,
because for one, who's gonna bang with him in the center, in the middle?
Nobody.
I'd want to be the point guard on that team with Shaq on it. But you know what I would do? Penetrate, pick and pop.
Fella. He'll buy me a car every month.
You know what I'm saying? What the hell? What?
And that's what
makes Shaq, this is all I need you to do. This is routine. That's all we be practicing during practice. This is routine.
Yep.
I'll come. Hey, when I come baseline, I need you to come straight down the center. Hey, I dump it off to you, and you dunk it home.
Because he either gonna get fouled, or they're just gonna let him dunk. That's all it's gonna be: foul or dunk, foul or dunk, foul or dunk. So yeah, because you could see even the big men now who could do that, like Embiid, he don't even do that.
No, he don't bang like that. This is necessary.
And he could, who really going? You literally outweigh everybody except Joker, but you literally outweigh and DeMarcus Cousins, but he can't stay healthy. I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
but just the way the game is now, it's kind of boring to watch. So I barely watch pro basketball.
True, I do. Yeah, it's like I really don't watch it. Cause I used to watch it the minute Christmas hits. I used to watch that until whenever. Mm-hmm. Now I might catch the All-Star game. I'll start watching when it's close to the time of the playoffs, and then when it comes down to the last two teams, I'll watch. And even though Charlotte's my team, I watch who was playing. So
yeah,
I mean that's just what it is at this point.
Yeah, man. So you ready to close it out?
Yeah, I mean we close it out.
All right. So thank y'all for watching. Man, please subscribe, share, and hey, we're working on bigger things. You're gonna see more content coming out. You're gonna see more stuff pushing, and hey, we're on all forms of social media. Please check us out on that. What you got to add?
Yeah, watch out, man. This weekend, toexposure.com. Check that out. Period. Check it out. Yeah, definitely check. Maybe a little something, nothing too special. Just gonna be flying solo. That type of deal. But it's gonna be all right. We're gonna make it happen. These men had to do it for a minute, hold it down. I'm gonna hold it down. So we gonna make it happen this weekend. So definitely, check us out. To Expose You, I think I'll be on at the 8:00.
Yep.
Slot 8:00. All right. So definitely be ready. It's gonna be, a little interesting, maybe something possibly jump off. Maybe Chris Rock might come over and talk about the slap and what his plan and what we gonna do.
Man, speaking of which, apparently 2 rumors are out. One rumor is that he stopped people from making any comments about Will Smith and Jada at his concert, apparently.
Okay.
And apparently Jada's mad at Will for slapping.
Oh, now she's trying to cover herself. I got you.
I'll tell you like this. If either one of those are true, if I'm Will Smith, first off, if the Chris Rock one is true, if I'm Will Smith, I'm not only apologizing through Twitter, I will literally do whatever I could to repair what I could repair.
Hey, Bad Boys 4, Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to
Martin Lawrence, Will Smith.
Because that shows that for whatever reason, if that is to happen, that he cares about Will Smith and he thinks that Will Smith needs help.
He thinks the word of him. He probably do, yeah.
On the flip side of
but people don't understand is, like I said yesterday, comedians are some of the most intelligent people you can meet. They're the most, because for one, they got to think fast on their feet a lot of times when they know either they forget the routine, they know they may be losing the crowd, or they know they're shooting blanks, period.
Right.
It's plain and simple as that. And like we said previously, he thought well enough of keep the show going. And like I said, nobody knew what was going on. Everybody kind of focused away from what just happened and focused back, and he kept the focus on him until what happened.
Well,
he said what he had said.
Well, never yelled. I think
nobody would have knew. Nobody would have, I'd have kept it at the mystery. Hey,
what's this?
Like, did he just? Was this a joke or just? Just, oh, okay, all right, and that would have just been the whole question from now to eternity. Was it a joke? Was it really a slap or what?
Yeah. So.
What did Denzel say? The devil shows up. Mm-hmm. The devil never showed up. The devil was always there.
So that part is where I will say we should leave on this note. And I do believe if she is coming out and making those types of statements, I believe Will Smith should divorce her. And I mean, right now, because I'm going to say it like this. We already down the rabbit hole. You should just stand by me.
I agree. I definitely
agree. Actually be like, what happened. You know what? I support my husband. That's all you have to say. What happens, I support him. We don't know what support means. We just know that you should say, hey, I support him. You don't have to say why or how. So if they come back and be like, do you support him slapping it? I support my husband. I stand. Right. We are united.
I stand by my
Now behind closed doors, you can say whatever you want to. So if you out here saying, I wish he didn't slap and this and third, I'm divorcing you. And I guarantee you, if Will Smith divorced her, Hollywood will embrace him back.
They probably will.
I honestly, I believe Chris Rock will come.
But go ahead, no finish what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I do believe, because I think a lot of people realize that it's her on the flip.
I was gonna say that. That's a good. You read my mind, because people don't understand Hollywood is a whole different setup. Everybody knows what goes on. Everybody doesn't speak until that person. Like I said, Nobody knew what was going on in the marriage from the beginning until what happened.
She spoke.
She spoke it.
Yeah.
She spoke it. Nobody knew that they had an arrangement until when? She said it.
Yeah.
In an interview.
Oh,
In an interview.
so I go back
And
to
then
saying
and
that,
then I'm sorry, let me cut you. Hold
No,
that.
no,
Hold that thought.
go ahead.
And then when she was asked about it, she reiterated in every interview on TV, on the radio, whenever it came up.
Yeah.
And this is when this man was stood at the highlight,
All right.
at his peak. And there are people, because like I said, he's still considered probably one of the most beautiful people in the world or whatever at the time, and even probably still now somewhat. But it gave her the attention she wanted.
And that's where I would like to say, that's why I think she's self-sabotaging. She's self-sabotaging. Like, it's something in her that will self-sabotage her life. Because if you sabotaging him, you're sabotaging your life.
True.
So I believe that. Also, I'm scared.
I think it's called the red table, dog. Go ahead.
I'm scared because I do believe that if Will Smith files for divorce, she's going to come out with surviving Will Smith. And I guarantee you she's going to claim abuse.
Okay.
And now the evidence is, see, this is what I deal with behind closed doors.
Hey, man, it's just a wait and see thing.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting how they move forward. And,
I don't think they'll move forward. And I don't think, I mean, move forward as in it'll still be that moment. They'll still be stuck, regardless of that moment is going to be with them forever.
Okay.
In a sense,
see that.
They'll continue to go forward in life. Will Smith may still be able to do movies, TV, whatever, but people are going to always question: will that Will Smith is going to show up at any time when we say something out the way? Because think about it. Look at, for instance, Robert Downey Jr. Now, at this moment, greatest. Now, but if you go back about 20, 30 years, people don't understand. Before they didn't want him as Iron Man. They had to insure the man, get insurance on the man to make sure
because he
was a risk.
Yeah, because
he was a risk.
And drugs.
He's alcohol, drugs.
And
he's been in jail.
The story goes that old boy vouched for him.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Right.
Who, by the way, ended up getting booted out. But
right.
And he vouched for him.
Right. And that's the thing. If people don't understand, that's how serious it gets to the point. That's Robert Downey Jr. This is Will Smith.
Yeah, I see the same.
This is Will Smith.
Yeah, Netflix already said they done stopped production on a movie and things like that. I think give it a year or two, you'll start seeing him coming back. I think what he and I hate to say this, I think he should do the same thing he did with the old August Alsina thing. Just live on Instagram. Live your life.
You could do that.
Go to Dubai where they don't care.
No, they can't Dubai. This is a worldwide thing.
Okay.
This is people don't understand. And like we need to go over this, like how people view us as people, Black community in America, regardless of what your stature is, as according to what they see on TV, according to what they watch on the channel. They get Netflix there too. No, yeah, depends on where they get Netflix. They watch movies. They watch YouTube. They listen to the music. A lot of them actually think that's how we live here in America.
And then they got the golden boy, Will Smith.
Right.
Is Will Smith gonna have to smack a bitch?
You know what I'm saying? You and people don't understand that. And that's the thing that upsets me a lot of times. It's a whole nother show, but we'll go another time.
We should do that.
Yeah, it's a whole nother show. Like I said, we went over it again, but we'll discuss it again though. Like I said, check me out Saturday. Shoot, I might go over that myself Saturday for a few minutes. On 2exposure.com. Check us on Twitter. Check us on Instagram, YouTube. Somewhat on Facebook. We'll post some stuff on Facebook here and there. And whatever else to come, you might see some stuff posted up on the cloud,
Coming soon.
Oh, coming soon. Hey, this man is on it, ladies and gentlemen. So it's William Coleman. This is Marshawn Taylor. Anything you want to say?
Hey, no, just be blessed and be safe.
All right. We out.